podcast.
Well, we're good now, so
Wait,
let's go.
I am the only one without headphones.
You're fine. I'll take mine off.
Do you want me to take mine off? She say it again.
No, you're fine.
But does it look
It's
cool
fine.
around my neck? Should I leave them around my neck? It's so tight.
We're live.
Bluetooth off.
Taking those off. Are you taking them off?
Sure, I'll take them off.
Oh, you're making me feel better now.
All right.
Yeah.
It looked too
I
professional.
hit the Bluetooth button anyway on mine. They're screwed up. Yeah, that's my bad, Katie. I'm sorry. I said headphones, not thinking wireless earbuds.
We're appropriate when you're told to bring headphones.
Yes.
I'm sure there's some way to hook it all into the. I mean, there's got to be a way that I can hook wirelessly. We don't have to do it today.
No, we got a lot
For
of
future
cables.
guests.
Yes, we'll put in the budget.
All right.
You guys should get someone to manage, the tech stuff around here.
Uh-oh.
We're waiting for our first sponsor.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
All right.
Are we on the air?
We're going.
Our commercial rolling there.
I think we're back.
We're back. We lost our host.
Uh-oh.
We do have a guest, though. Should we wait for Jared to come back to introduce her?
Yeah, I think you had like a big, impressive introduction. He was
Jared, did you
gonna-
bring your
good.
introduction for our guest?
There he is.
I was out of breath.
Had to get a drink.
Had to get a drink. You guys want to start over?
Sure.
No, heck no, we're good.
Shane, why don't you introduce?
Okay.
You got her here, so I'll let you take
Oh.
the
You got me here.
Yeah, so this is Katie. Katie does nutrition. She's out of Glass City CrossFit. We've done a few challenges now, nutrition challenges, and Katie's here to help. So for today, we asked her to join the show and talk about nutrition, maybe talk about not the podcast, talk about the nutrition challenge that's coming up. I think she's got some better dates than I had last time we talked. And we'll just go from there. No agenda, like usual. And do have a few good questions for her, though.
I'm excited for the questions.
We had so many come in on the
Yeah, a
Facebook
lot
posts.
of them.
Yeah.
Just had to filter through
There's
those.
Jews.
Yeah.
I had to narrow it down.
Get as many as we can in the hour.
So we have a bunch of stuff sitting up. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the challenge? Do you want to talk about lifestyle choices? Do you want to?
I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do you want to ask some questions
Yeah,
first? Should we talk about the challenge?
Let's do the challenge, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is the challenge? Do we know?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
So the challenge, since I was so prepared right now, just as you guys were for
good.
this podcast today. The challenge starts on September 27th. It's a Monday, so it's always good, I think, to start challenges on Mondays. So prior to that, the whole week before that, like the 19th through the 26th, we're going to be doing some weigh-ins and like some one-on-ones with me to kind of get things all set for your start date on the 27th. And then it runs through October 24th. And that ends with a super, super cool like fitness finale, which I really think, I don't know, I know you guys have done a couple or one of the challenges. I think that's like one of like the funnest parts of the challenge is like coming together with your team on that final day, doing your weigh-ins, but then just like doing a super fun fitness competition. I think that's super fun and motivating. So I don't know, what do you guys think of the fitness challenge?
Yeah, the challenge is the best part in my mind.
Yeah. And all the fat you lost.
Well, yeah, if you lose fat, then that makes that part of the challenge a success.
So I've been preparing for that heavily then.
Yeah, to give your team the best advantage.
Yes,
for
I
weigh-in.
should be
Yeah,
recruited heavily
that's
for
exactly
this.
what you should do.
Yeah.
What do you do
Yeah.
at the weigh-in? What's that?
So the weigh-in is super cool because it's not just a weigh-in. So we use an in-body machine, which is currently at Glass City, but we will bring it over to Fort Meigs so you can weigh in at Glass City or Fort Meigs. And the in-body gives you like your body weight, which a lot of people might already know, but it also looks at the amount of fat mass and lean muscle mass you have. So we're focusing on fat loss. So we talk about like the nutrition challenge. It's not just weight loss. We want it specifically coming from fat. a lot of times when people do like short-term challenges or eat in a calorie deficit, they tend to lose weight, but they also tend to lose lean mass if they don't actually worry about like meeting their protein goals and macros a little bit. So we really try to focus on losing fat mass, maintaining lean mass, because that's what most CrossFit athletes want. Maybe even gain a little bit of muscle, depends on the person. That can kind of be hard when you're eating in a calorie deficit, but we focus on fat loss, and the InBody really helps to show us where the loss is coming from. So I think that's super cool and motivating. 4 weeks in my mind is like a short period of time. If you've got like some long-term goals, only so much can happen in 4 weeks, but it's cool that we have the InBody. So like 6 months from now, if you're continuing on your journey, you can kind of check in, or every few months kind of check in and make sure you're still headed in the right direction. So the InBody is the way in and the kind of way out.
How do you, like, what do you mean by InBody? No, I mean, you explain that, but how do you measure that?
So the InBody is something you stand on, if that's what you're asking. Like it's something that stands on. Yep, it's a scale, and you don't have your shoes on, and you hold on to some bars. It uses hydration as an indicator. Like it uses electricity, and it's basically based on like the amount of water you have in your body.
Huh.
Not super scientific and good at explaining it, but you do have to make sure that you're not dehydrated or overhydrated when you come to weigh in. So you shouldn't have like just done today's workout and then go do your InBody, or been out till 3 a.m. partying and then show up to do your InBody. So you should be fairly hydrated, not dehydrated, not just have done a crazy workout, anything like that.
What about food like the night before?
I wouldn't really stress too much about food.
Do you want to win?
The night before.
So, like, would you fast before the InBody?
No, I would just eat like you normally do.
Eat?
Yeah.
What about that morning?
So ideally, I would say like somewhat of an empty stomach, but that's not like a rule breaker. Like if you need to do it in the middle of the day, I think that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't eat like an entire pizza or anything.
Unless you want to win.
Unless you want to win. If you're in it to win it, you eat as much as you can, and then you come weigh in.
All right.
Perfect. I like it.
Oh, you mean before the initial weigh-in?
Yeah, just eat a whole pizza. I mean, drink that gallon of milk.
I had 5 guys last night, so
Perfect.
Today would have been great.
Yeah, so eat as much as you can, and then come weigh in.
What'd you get at 5 Guys?
Oh God.
Well, I'm trying to decide how bad do I want myself to sound right now.
Oh man,
Yeah,
just be
let's hear
honest.
it.
Just be honest.
Just the double bacon cheeseburger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have the best cherry vanilla Coke and those Coke machines things.
Oh.
I don't actually drink a lot
Does
of
the
coffee.
syrup
It's
go
just-
in there, or is it separate? You put syrup and then the
No.
Coke? Or is
It's
it
like,
all
I don't know
one?
how to explain. You ever seen those Coke machines where you can like
Oh, you
Pick your
pick them?
flavor.
pick your stuff?
Oh,
Yeah.
fuses
Yeah.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do diet or regular Coke?
What do you
go
think?
all in?
He's not in the nutrition challenge yet. He's preparing for
Well,
the
if you get
nutrition
Diet
challenge.
Coke, you can eat whatever you want. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine. You
I
have
do
the Diet
drink-
Coke, you get the burger.
If I do
nuts.
drink Coke, it's usually the Coke Zero. But yeah,
But it was a big night, so you just went all in.
I just went in. Yeah. There was dessert too, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna work on getting rid of like added sugar throughout the challenge. So if you are like a soda pop drinker, that's something that's gotta go.
So what's
top of my
your
list.
take on Coke Zero?
I have mixed feelings about like diet sodas. So I hands down am not a fan of drinking sugar at all, like just general population. So I'm not pro like go grab a Coke. If you need to use Coke Zero or like diet soda, I think to like get away from a regular pop situation, I'll take that as a better choice just to get rid of the added sugar. But I think long term, like you need to be an adult and drink water, or like you got to get rid of some of that stuff. I think once in a while it's okay, but like every day, all day, if we're drinking diet soda or like sugar-free stuff, or even like flavored water, like you got to get your taste buds back, and you got to be able to drink water. So I can't tell you how many people tell me they don't like to drink water, or they don't like water, and I'm like you're human and you're an adult, like you have to.
Thanks for calling me a child.
Yeah.
Like
What about something like
you
this?
gotta figure it out.
I don't like
About O2.
Mhm.
I'm fine with that. Like, yeah, if you want to drink like some O2 or what do you got there? What is that?
Tropical Thunder. No, Cliff Ignite.
Kill Cliff.
I just said I wasn't
No sugar.
privy enough to get coffee this morning, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think stuff like this is fine. Like once in a while after you work out, if you like want like some sort of like electrolyte beverage or whatever, I think it's fine. But I still think
I
you're.
didn't work out.
Yeah, true. You were not here earlier. So
Katie joined us for
I
Sunday's
did.
class. Yeah.
I did. I almost
crushed
died.
it. She crushed it.
Died. It's a lot of running, but a lot of
Most
doubles
people
presses.
recovered on the runs. Cadie sprinted them.
I had to catch up somehow.
Would you get it done in?
I think like 32 minutes.
It was a good
maybe?
one.
I don't know. I didn't quit like him.
I got
he
time
quit
capped.
halfway through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was actually more than halfway if you count the reps.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. We're doing this today. That's all double presses. It was like, nope.
I had to coach.
You had plenty of time though. I feel like I got here early and you
No,
could
I
have
had
like
to
kept
coach. I
going
was.
a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or you could have skipped the 30-minute warm up that you.
Well, that's important to be warm.
Have you been here for a workout before?
No, I've never come here for a workout before, so today was my first time. It was fun. It was good.
Yeah. Sundays are
long.
fun.
Sundays are fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Well, we have a coach rating system, so feel free.
Oh, you do? Like Google, like I go on Google, I like Google
Yeah.
your coaches.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let me know what you're going to say first.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell you which way to get there.
That's funny.
So you mentioned in the nutrition challenge, a common thing that you want to be aware of is losing fat but not losing strength, and hitting your macros is one of those.
Yeah.
So like protein is very important. Are there other suggestions you could give somebody that is the scale's going down, but you're also losing strength?
Yeah. So I think if you've done one of our challenges before, this one is a little bit different because we are going to talk about macros, but we're also going to talk about like better food choices and cleaning up your diet in the long run, which I think is important for athletes and performance. But as far as like losing fat and macros, and I think kind of what you're asking, like protein to me is always the most important, hands down. So if I have someone that's overwhelmed with tracking, I mean, literally, if you can just track your grams of protein every day and meet your protein goal, I think that's the most important thing. The next thing, if you're not getting the results you want or you feel like you're super fatigued, is I think we can start to work on meal timing a little bit more and making sure that we're like getting that post-WOD or that post-workout meal in within an hour. We were kind of talking about that earlier. So making sure we're getting some protein with some carbs right after your workout. I think that can really help with muscle recovery and in the long term, your performance in the gym and therefore fat loss. So yeah, I would say meeting grams of protein, meal timing to some extent, and then really just like cleaner food choices, which is really my passion, just like cleaning up your diet, getting rid of like a lot of packaged processed stuff. But it really is a journey for everyone. And I think everyone starts from a different place, which is why with the nutrition challenge this time, I think it'll be super cool to do one-on-ones with people and kind of figure out where everyone's at. Like someone may come into this and they're like, I need to like not drink cherry Coke. And we can be like, okay, like that could be a good goal for this first week. And then after that, let's start like counting some grams of protein. Maybe someone has been tracking stuff like crazy and they need to work more on like cleaning up their diet. So I think it'll be good. Everyone is going to follow the same guidelines to some extent, but like everyone may kind of be tweaking their own lifestyle in a different way.
Sure.
I think from the last two challenges, realizing how much protein people don't eat, it's actually hard to get it all in
Oh, yeah.
when they do
Yeah.
the amount they're supposed to.
Yeah. So when I first started, I felt like I was taking like a rotisserie chicken to bed with me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, all right, 20 more grams. Like you can do this. Like, come on. But that really is like the most important thing. And when people are losing lean mass, like that's where for the most part, it's because they're not meeting their grams of protein per day. It can be super hard. And tracking that really is the only way to realize like what you have to work on.
So go ahead.
Nope, I was just going to say about tracking. What do you use to track?
I'll get way off.
A scale? So a scale in an app? Or what's your
tracking your grams
recommendation?
of protein?
Yeah, or just write it down.
Yeah, I mean, MyFitnessPal or some sort of free app, I think is totally fine. And like, it's going to give you some calories and I'll help you figure out those calories if you want, or maybe you're just not even to that point where you want to worry about calories. Maybe you just need to focus on getting your grams of protein in place. And then after that, we can, work on some more stuff. So I would say some sort of free app that's going to track your protein. Sure. Reading labels and weighing your food is really like hands down what you should do, at least for the first few weeks, because some people think 25 grams of protein is like 15 grams of protein. Like you got to get some good visuals down. For me, that's the only thing I'll say I still track like most days, even in my head. Sometimes it's like, okay, I had those eggs, I had this chicken, like I've still probably got about 50 more grams in today. If you need to use a piece of paper and you're old school, I think that's fine too. But lots of different options that we'll talk about for sure. But tracking it somehow to make sure most days you're getting those grams in. And then at the end of the day, if you realize like you still need 20 grams and you're not hungry, like maybe that's where like a whey protein shake comes in, just mixing it with some water, like, and chugging it down just to get your grams of protein in per day.
So are you familiar with RP then? I'm assuming?
Yeah, I've done it, cuts and gains with them.
Okay. So I did cuts, and the hardest thing I found was getting the protein in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got tired of eating like a lot. And then towards the end, it literally takes everything damn near but protein from you.
Because that's the most important thing to get
Agreed.
in.
Well,
Yeah.
how do you eat without getting anything else in?
Yeah.
Instead of drinking shakes, and we all know. Like,
yes, it's going to be like low fat, lean sources of protein, like hands down are like that is the cornerstone, I feel like, of what I focus on every week. So like if I don't have time to meal prep or like bake some sweet potatoes or whatever, like at least if I can cook some lean ground turkey, I've got my egg whites in, like if I at least have that lean protein prepped, that helps me to stay on track. But yeah, I mean, it's hard when that comes down to being that strict with RP. That's like could be a whole nother podcast, but we're doing a little, not as strict as RP. But
okay.
yeah, it does come down to just making sure you get your protein every day. And RP it is a calorie deficit. So like when you're trying to lose weight, like you do need to be in a calorie deficit, but as those calories start to decrease, your protein needs always stay the same. That's what I tell people. If you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, like your grams of protein per day, it never changes. So like you should be comfortable meeting that every day, because 2 years from now, it's still going to be the same. Like it doesn't change. Carbs and fats can change. Protein never changes.
You judge the protein, and it's okay if you don't know, but you judge the protein off of, like, I'm probably should be around 180 for my height and all that stuff, but I'm not. So am I judging the protein I need for the weight I am now or for the weight I want to be?
So I use your height
Or should
to
be.
calculate protein.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So
I'm really overweight then.
kind of I take like an ideal weight, which I don't like saying, but like I do look at someone's like ideal weight for their height, and then I use that to base their grams of protein off of. From what I've gathered, that's what RP does too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm so short,
So
I
based on
double
your-
it.
you
So
just double
because
it.
I'm so short, I just double what she tells me.
RP, I mean, obviously I'm not a spokesman for it, but that was the most successful thing I've done. It was the hardest thing I've done, but it was the best results I've
So I feel like we do like our past challenges that we've done, just so people know, like RP is like an app you can purchase as a program. It's basically a diet coach that tells you your grams of carbs, proteins, and fats each day. And it does also work with like meal timing. So I feel like our challenges, we kind of do RP for dummies is what I've said in the past, because we work on grams of protein and carbs and fats to some extent, and like meal timing. It's just not as like, it's hard as RP for some people. But yeah,
No, I
we
get
kind of
it,
do
yeah.
like RP for dummies in a good way.
I'm more of a lazy, so
A
like
lazy?
RP for lazies.
RP for lazies, I'll take
I'm
it.
a lazy
Just
eater.
advertise it like that.
So do you have a day, a week that you prepare all your food? Or is it just kind of...
So yeah, it's give or take. Sometimes for months I'm really good, and on like Saturdays and Sundays I'll meal prep. And sometimes I won't. And the weeks that I don't, I feel like then I'm eating more out at work or just kind of more in a rush, and then I don't feel as good. I'm not as on track. So I always do have protein kind of prepped. Like I said, like even if it's just a few pounds of chicken breast or ground turkey or whatever, like at least if I have that stuff prepped, I can always grab some instant rice, some frozen veggies. Like it doesn't always have to be glamorous. Like people who see me eat at work, sometimes it's frozen broccoli and like rotisserie chicken from Kroger. Like it doesn't need to be fabulous, and it shouldn't be all the time. That's way too much work. So it just kind of depends. I like to meal prep, but that doesn't always happen. I think it needs to be like a realistic thing for most people, is to realize it's not going to happen every week.
So what about timing on food? So we have a 5 a.m. class, and we also have a 6:30 p.m. class. So if you're a 5 a.m.er, when's the first meal?
So you should always, like, hands down, like one of my biggest rules for people is you have to eat within an hour after your workout. So no matter when you work out, that doesn't change. And unfortunately, that can be uncomfortable for some people, especially if they work out late at night. They're like, damn, I got to eat like all this chicken and all these carbs like at 9 o'clock at night if they, work out late. But within an hour, you've got to get a serving of protein in with a fair amount of carbs. Technically, your highest carb meal should be that post-workout meal.
Okay.
So 5 a.m. folks, they should be eating their largest meal really in the morning, not dinner, if that makes sense. So carbohydrates, we were talking a little about this earlier. When you eat carbs, you eat sugar, it stimulates insulin, which is your anabolic hormone. It says, let's build up, which is why sometimes when people eat a lot of carbs or a lot of sugar and they're not working out, you build up a little bit too much fat. But you should use insulin to your advantage if you're an athlete. So you want to create that anabolic response after you work out to deliver protein into your muscles. So like I grabbed this and we were just talking about it, but like this has 20 grams of protein, which is awesome for me. That's like a serving of protein, but it doesn't have any carbs. So like if I just have protein and no carbs, that protein really doesn't get to my muscles efficiently. Whereas if I have this and like an apple or some sort of sugar, they work really well together to help my muscles recover. So after your workout, you got about an hour, got to get some protein with some carbohydrates, not just one or the other. That's like one of the most important things you can do to help build up lean mass, help create fat loss, improve your performance in the gym, all that good stuff. So yeah, I would say about an hour, and whenever you work out, then you might have to rearrange your lifestyle a little bit. I'm a 5 a.m. person, and that's hard for me.
Oh, yeah.
So like I go home and like sometimes I'm eating, like I eat ground turkey and rice at like 6:30 in the morning. Like my mindset's just different. You know, it's not always breakfast food, but I think that's part of what helps make people more successful is like getting out of the mindset of like when you should eat chicken and rice or vegetables or whatever. So I eat veggies, rice, chicken, all that stuff in the morning first thing.
About oatmeal. You like oatmeal?
I do like oatmeal, but then you still got to get some protein in there.
Yeah.
So you can mix some whey protein in there. Yeah. Or have some plain Greek yogurt or something. Yeah. I'm not really like anti any specific food. It depends on the context, I guess. Well, I'm anti soda.
No, I get it. I can have a meal and I'll have like sometimes I'll just have a ham sandwich and I'll feel fine, but sometimes I'll add a Coke with it. 90% it's Coke Zero, but every once in a while it's something different. And like after I drink it, I'm like, oh, I just feel horrible. So I get it. I need to stop drinking. And I really don't drink it that often. We're talking like a normal sugar pop like once a week normally. So it's just Saturday's my normal day where I don't care what I eat.
It's five guys a day.
Weekends.
No
Set
5.
up on the weekends.
I just know the fitness challenge is coming, so I'm like, I'm doing 5 guys.
So
Yeah, I don't know. Weekends can ruin someone's whole week though. Sometimes it just depends. You can go crazy on Friday night and Saturday, and then it's like all that progress during the week is like crushed.
Sounds drained, yeah. So you talked a little bit about the things to eat after a workout and when you should be eating. What are your opinions on like intermittent fasting and certain times of the day when maybe you shouldn't be eating, like before you go to bed, things like that?
Yeah, I think intermittent fasting works really well for some people and not for others. I'm not like anti-intermittent fasting. I don't know how well it works for a lot of CrossFitters, just with the amount of like exercise and like stress they're putting on their muscles, unless they can kind of shift their window. But if you're not a breakfast person and you wake up in the morning and like maybe you do work out in the evening, like there's no reason why you have to eat breakfast if you're not hungry. So like if you're just a person that does better with like this large window of not eating, then I'm totally fine with that. The only time I'm not fine is a lot of those people that do intermittent fasting can't get those grams of protein in that shorter window.
Yeah.
So, that just depends on the person. I don't think it's bad for your body. I think there's a lot of benefit to giving your digestive system a little bit of a break. But it comes down to meeting your grams of protein, that shorter like window of eating. And if you can do that and you feel fine and you're working out within that eating window, go for it. It doesn't work. Like I can't do it because I feel like I'm always hungry right when I wake up, but some people aren't. And I think that's fine. I don't care when you eat in relation to going to bed. If you like to eat before you go to bed and you're fine with that, I don't really think it makes a big of a difference. So.
Is all protein the same?
Like food protein?
No, like I guess I should relate to more shakes. Am I really getting anything? I kind of know the answer to this, but it's more for other people.
Oh, okay.
But Podium's going to sell this protein to you for like $50 for 27 servings. Or you can go to Costco and get a big 6-pound bag for $40.
Right. Or you can buy some chicken for even less.
I'm just talking shakes right
Okay,
now.
all right, yeah. No, I get it. So I don't. So to me, protein, for the most part, protein is protein.
Yeah.
So like if you are working out at night and you don't feel like eating right after your workout, like, and it's almost bedtime for you, maybe you do a whey protein shake with some fruit or something to get your protein and carbs. I don't care after you work out or just period. If you get your protein from whey protein or from a shake or from real food, just hands down, protein is protein. There's no reason why you would eat eggs and have a protein shake. It'd be one or the other. So like supplements to me, like the protein supplements are purely that. They're like supplemental to your diet. You use them as needed. So if for some reason I can't get home and eat, or if like I'm going to bed and I know I need 20 more grams, I 100% always have whey protein on hand that I can mix and just use to meet my grams of protein per day. So if you don't need protein shakes in your life, there's no reason why you need to buy one. If it works for you and you need one, I think whey protein is hands down like the most bioavailable, digestible protein for people. So I do tend to recommend whey protein. It is not a vegan protein.
Like over like a pea protein or
yes.
soy?
Yeah. So like when you look at like the protein availability, like on the amino acid profile of different proteins, whey protein is like the most bioavailable or easiest for your body to use. So if I'm going to recommend one, I'm going to recommend whey. But if we do need a plant-based one, then you need to make sure that the plant-based one has like a mix of different plant source proteins, because that makes it more bioavailable. I think yours probably does, because I think we've talked about this before. So if it doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed. So this one is like a plant protein, and it's got a huge mix of different types of plant proteins, like pea protein, brown rice, chia seeds. So like that increases like the effectiveness of this plant protein versus if it was just plant protein. So if you get a plant protein, you always want it mixed. If you don't, I tend to like whey. And then, yeah, like you said, there's like huge differences of different types of whey protein and protein powders. I'm a cleaner eating person, so I prefer one without a lot of like added colors and sparkles and like all that nonsense. I just like it plain. Yeah. And I also don't like a lot of like artificial colors and like
When you mean
sweeteners.
plain, do you mean like no flavor?
No, I'm fine with some flavor. Okay. Like the accent proteins, those are a really good choice that you guys have here. They don't put like a lot of crap in them. I mean, but some of those at like GNC and stuff that I see, they're like, I don't even know. Like you don't need a long ingredient list. It doesn't need to be like crazy. Does that kind of answer your question?
Kind of. I
mean, I could talk about supplements for a really long time.
Yeah.
It's part of my problem. We did like an hour lecture about like clean supplement companies. So I am a bit of a snob when it comes to like supplement companies. I don't like any of them that like don't pay a third party to like verify their ingredients, for example. Like the Accent is good. The Podium we talked about, I think is a good choice. Sometimes Costco has good ones. Sometimes they don't. It just kind of depends, I guess, on the company.
I guess I typically buy that big 6-pound bag at Costco.
Like the Optimum Nutrition one?
No, there is that, but there's I think it's Muscle Farm Combat, or I don't know, the cheapest one they carry. It's a big black and green bag.
Okay.
It is Combat.
Yeah.
I guess I would have to look at the ingredients. Like
it's an isolate. It might be a combination. I don't remember.
That's okay.
I guess my point was in asking or stating, whatever you want to put it, is an isolate protein the same no matter the company? Whether I'm paying $50 to Podium or am I paying?
The protein itself, yes.
Yeah.
The other additive ingredients, no. So if you don't care about the other ingredients, which not everyone needs to care, if you don't care, I don't care. Like,
is it a cleanliness thing? The cleanliness of the protein,
so we're talking
or the protein?
The protein itself is going to give you the same benefit.
Right.
So like if you're like, I just want 25 grams of protein after my workout, I don't care about the other like crap that's in here. Doesn't matter what company you buy. Probably. Like, doesn't matter. Right. If you're like, hey, I'm trying to clean up my diet, I don't want a lot of additives, like I'm looking for a pure like type situation, then it does matter.
Okay.
So it just depends on the person. Like some people want organic chicken, some people don't care. You know, everyone's coming from a different place.
I can taste the difference in organic chicken. It's just when you're doing something like this, it's just not always budget friendly.
100%. So like you do whatever you need to do. Like I want people to meet their grams of protein. Some people are like working on some other stuff. Then I by no means need everyone to eat organic chicken.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So with the challenge, there's the weigh in. We learn where we're at, sit down with you, talk about our goals, and then we kind of dive in. I don't know if it's going to be a team aspect or not. Usually that's how we do it. We kind of have a support team. So we break everyone up based on whatever, make some teams up, have a team captain. And then every week we would kind of meet up on the weekend, on a Sunday maybe, and talk about something like this. So you would put together whether it's protein, carbs, the differences of when to take food in, kind of like we just had this little last conversation, and then you'll also talk without getting too involved. Like I remember you did a gut health demo. We did supplements. So there's a lot of stuff we learn as we go along as well. So it's not just eating clean for 4 weeks and then doing a challenge at the end. There's a lot to learn in between. So those Sunday sessions, if you could open your schedule up, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Sunday stuff.
Yeah.
So not that I don't want everyone to learn how to track macros, but you're right. We try to talk about other things, and we're definitely open to changing topics depending on what people want to learn about. We're kind of changing it up this time. So I think I'm just gonna quick pull this up. On every Sunday, you're right, we're going to have different lectures. And by coming to the lectures, whether you come to the gym itself or whether you watch on,
we did on Zoom last time. On Zoom,
yeah. You'll get points for your team. So that's the point, is you're accountable and you're getting points for your team, but you're also hopefully learning a little bit of stuff. And so we're going to have it at different locations each time. It'll be at Glass City one time, the next Sunday will be at Fort Meigs, and back to Glass City. So that way it's every other. And I think this time we're going to change it up a little bit. We'll probably still talk about supplements to some extent, because I feel like everyone has questions about that stuff. We've talked about fermented foods and digestion in the past, but I think this time we're also going to talk a lot about added sugars and label reading, because we've had a lot of questions about that. We're going to talk about other types of packaged processed foods, because we're also working on eliminating some stuff throughout this challenge, which is a little bit different than we've done in the past. So instead of people trying to make everything fit into their macros, we're going to ask some people to hands down eliminate some foods, just to help them realize maybe how much better they can feel during the challenge. So yeah, each week we're going to cover a topic that's not necessarily related to macros at all. It's more related to overall health and things that you can take with you moving forward.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because, the calories, I know you talked about not restricting calories, focusing on protein, but even when they are restricted.
We're still having people restrict calories.
Okay, good.
I can't give that
great.
up.
I mean, great. But
all these people that eat 5 handfuls of almonds, and they never get that hey, it's the canister of peanut butter you're eating every day. Even that's a good food, but you can't have 7 tablespoons of peanut butter.
Yeah, I know.
In your oatmeal.
Okay, so we'll focus on that too. But I think people will see they feel better.
Yes.
Even by making the small changes,
yes.
Increasing the protein, they will feel better in the workouts and possibly have energy to do a second workout in a day or something different, go ride their bike or
just be more active or sleep better. I mean, that's huge. I think a lot of people don't realize eating and food choices, all that stuff can impact your sleep. And for some people, that if they could just get a decent amount of sleep, that in and of itself would help them. That would help them not crave so much sugar and empty carbs during the day. Sleep impacts hunger hormones and so. Yeah, I'm hoping people see some other benefits. You know what? Sleep. That's right. We're supposed to talk about melatonin.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Okay.
That's all right.
We don't have you for that much longer. It's good. It's our fault. It's our fault.
Yeah.
How much sleep do you get? Are you an 8 hour? Are you 8 hours?
I'm probably 6 hours, 7.
That makes me feel better.
I
think a lot of other people too.
Yeah, I would probably say 6 to 7. Because I have to work out at 5 a.m.
You feel like that's meeting your body's needs?
I do. I feel pretty good, and I feel like I get really good quality sleep. I don't tend to wake up being oh shoot, I feel like I didn't sleep. That tends to work well for me. And it's weird because when I Paul from Glass City always asks well, why don't you eat other packaged stuff or processed stuff? I don't know if you I post a lot of what I eat on Instagram. And so he's always why don't you go to Wendy's or like grab some fast food. I'm like, honestly, I have, and there's times when I do that, but like I feel so much different when I do that. Like my sleep, I'm more tired. I don't want to get stuff done. Like my energy level just tanks. That like that recognizing that change in my diet and that like cascade that it creates, like that makes me not want to do it again. So I feel like if people could realize that, even if like the Wendy's or like whatever fits into their macros, if people could realize that cleaning up their diet is going to make them feel better in so many other aspects of their life, that would help them stay on track. Like if they realize they're sleeping better.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything, like hands down. Like if I had a huge bowl of like just like crappy pasta and like a ton of sugar or whatever, like the next 2 days, I'm just like, man, like how do people feel like this all the time? Like if they could only realize like how much more energy they would have or their sleep. Like, so I'm hoping people feel better. Even if you don't have a lot of fat to lose, or maybe you don't lose a lot of fat, like maybe you'll just realize like, hey, like I'm moving in the right direction. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. 4 weeks is a very short period of time.
Yeah, it's a good jump start.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like some people just do better with a jump start.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. With a group and you have a team, like you gotta like commit to your team. You don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it because I think that's what I need, and I'll be fine. I think.
Like accountability and like people just like
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one that like ruins it for everybody.
It'll keep me going too, even after. But like I said, the hardest part for me is just consistently doing it. Like chicken and rice, okay, it sounds good. I'm going to do this, but like the 10th meal of chicken and rice is.
Yeah, but it doesn't always have to be. I know I keep saying chicken and rice, but like it doesn't have to be.
That's the cleanest, simplest protein. Like that's the cleanest macro thing I think you can do, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I tend to eat really simple during the day. Like it is a lot of like veggies and protein. And maybe I change up the sauces like sriracha or salsa or coconut aminos. Like condiments are huge to me because like that's what spices up some plain veggies and some protein.
But can it add macros?
Depending on it, yeah. Like salsa is a big go-to. I recommend to people because it doesn't really. Soy sauce or tamari sauce, like coconut aminos, a little, like a pit. I guess if you're gonna use like half a cup of it, maybe. But like if you're just throwing a tablespoon on here and there, I don't think it's the end of the world. I guess it just depends on what it is. So yeah. Oh, but that's what I was gonna say. Like during the day, for me, it's more about like just eating clean and like keeping it simple. And I do like to cook a better dinner. So like dinner, I tend to spice things up a little bit more and like spend a little bit more time in the kitchen. But you gotta also just embrace that every meal is not gonna be like the best meal. Like I don't know. It's food. It's fuel for your body. It doesn't always need to be like crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally all it is. Like you're just putting gas in the tank.
One of the benefits that I got from the nutrition challenge was being able to work with a team and work with Cadie on more suggestions. So I felt really limited in my diet. Well, my team created a text page and we're taking photos of what we're having for dinner that night, sharing ideas. Cadie was great about expanding the menu so you can eat clean and you can still get your macros in, but be able to have some variety in what you're intaking. So it's like an adventure with your team and, through the month learning and expanding that menu, but doing it the right way.
I like that in an adventure. Yeah. I feel like being a part of a team and it's super important. Like have a group text thread, take pictures, that can really, really be helpful. And even like we usually have like a group Facebook page where people can post like meal ideas or like what they bought that week at the grocery store. Like all those little things can help someone, even if you think it's not a big deal. Like you probably just sparked an idea for someone else.
You count, how strict are you? Like I'm just looking at this and I think that's fiber. That's not what I thought. But let's say this was carbs, 21 protein, 5 grams of carbs. Do you count those 5 grams of carbs in your macros?
If I was having someone like that was committed to a calorie deficit and doing macros, I would. Okay. If I had someone that was just like all new to this stuff and a little overwhelmed and had never tracked a thing, I would say, let's just count the protein for now. Let's not worry too much about that other stuff.
I know there's some programs out there like, well, if it's under 5, you don't count it. That type. I mean, that's more or less what I was getting to.
Yeah.
I don't know how strict you.
We're not that strict unless that's what you need. Like maybe you're a person that has not been strict and been tracking, and maybe now you just want to like take it one next step. Then maybe you do track all that stuff, But like I said, it really depends on where the person's coming from. If they just really need to clean up their diet and like meeting their grams of protein per day, I feel like that's going to make a difference for them. Then that's what we're going to do. And then maybe a few weeks later, we make another change.
Okay. I know you got to get going shortly, but so coming in day one, what should people expect?
So day one, so the week before the challenge, you're gonna have a one-on-one with me.
Mhm.
So like probably just FaceTime, or we can figure out something in person if you want. FaceTime has tended to work well for us in the past. Like 15 minutes, we're gonna talk about your goals, kind of where you're coming from. I'm gonna give you some numbers. Okay. Depending on what kind of numbers you want, everyone gets a grams of protein for sure, and probably somewhat of an idea of like calories. If you want more than that, if you want grams of fat and grams of carbs, I'll give them to you. But really, like calorie deficit and protein, that's what we would focus on. And then we're going to talk about other things, like depending on what questions people have. Some people have questions about supplements. So I'll answer whatever you want during your one-on-one that you feel like is pertinent to you. And then week by week, we're going to cut out some things. So just to give you an idea, like 1 week, we're going to say this week we're not doing like sugary beverages, like no like sugar in your, like the sugary coffee drinks, like regular soda, like we're getting rid of all of that. We're going to get rid of like pastries and like empty carbs. Like I think of like donuts and muffins and bagels, like office foods. I feel like people tend to like gravitate towards, or just grab something of.
Sounds like we're going to have a lot of fun.
Alcohol maybe might be coming that way, but like, so not that you can't eat those things, you know, in your real life. Like I want people to be able to enjoy them. I just want people to realize like how much they can creep up on you when you're doing it on a regular basis. Yeah. You know, like we feel like alcohol is a big one for people, you know, whether that's like a cocktail every night or a couple beers every night or wine, or maybe it's like just going all out on the weekends and how that can just destroy your progress from that previous week. You know, maybe we need to learn about like, wow, I gave that up for a few weeks and like, I feel so much better. My sleep is better. And I lost a few pounds. Like, I just want people, sometimes you do just need to go cold turkey to kind of figure that out. So yeah, week by week, we're going to kind of build on what we're eliminating. Alcohol will not be the first week. Right? So just
work your way up there.
We'll get there, but it's not going to be day one.
Yeah. We talked about
derail everyone after 3 weeks. Derail you all.
It does affect it. I mean, you have a Whoop? No, you're not a Whooper.
No, I'm a Garmin person.
You're a Garmin person.
Which could be another podcast. Because look, do you have 2 watches?
No. It's Whoop.
Whoop, and then what's this?
It's my watch.
Okay, see, this is one.
Oh.
All right.
Right.
Next podcast.
Okay. So I mean,
Have
you're coming back,
everyone
then that's good.
We're everyone a Garmin. You don't have to wear stuff on both wrists.
Don't people who wear Garmin's run?
You can run or you cannot run.
What if you're a not runner?
You know what? It has other options.
Okay.
Yeah. My husband has the Golf Garmin. It has
Okay.
no run option.
Nice.
It's not even on there as a choice.
Perfect.
Perfect. I don't think Garmin to be your sponsor.
Oh man, if you could do
Yeah,
that.
we'll take anybody.
Yeah, I'm excited for the challenge.
I'm
It's
excited.
been a while, and looking forward to getting back into it. You know, the going through that and doing things like Whole30, you know, helped me realize, you know, things that were going on in my body that I didn't associate to the diet. You know, ways that I was feeling. You're talking about sleep and energy levels. But even things like heartburn and joint inflammation. There were like so many things that once I removed everything and then slowly added things back, and it helped me really, you know, fine tune the diet and figure out what's best for me. It was, you know, life changing, beneficial for sure.
Awesome.
This is a dumb question, but is a fitness part of this?
Yeah, so fitness is a part of it.
It's not right. Like I promise, it was not meant to be funny. That was like
No, that's the
It is,
question.
though.
So the teams, like if you're like competing and like you're on a team, you will get points. I don't know necessarily like throughout the challenge, I forget, but like the big fitness challenge at the end, like could make or break your team's performance. So like, yes, it is. And also it's going to impact obviously the amount of fat that you lose. Right. So like, especially adding some extra cardio in, you know, here and there, some running, some Sundays, you know, that can always help too. But yeah, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell people, like, you don't make your 6-pack in the gym, you make it in the kitchen. Like hands down, you can lose a ton of fat just by paying attention to your macros and your eating. But for your overall health and performance, yes, like obviously.
And I'll tell you, like mentally knowing in 4 weeks there's a fitness challenge, mentally for me, I made sure I didn't skip a planned workout, or I would do an extra, like a HIIT, high intensity interval training, 8-minute workout, 4-minute workout, whatever, in the beginning of the day. So I think everybody's a little bit different, obviously, but there is a mental aspect that being on a team, you don't want to let anybody down. If there's a hole in your fitness somewhere, then you kind of push yourself a little bit through this. So first you eat better. It's like, well, what comes first, eating better or working out better? So your workouts will be better because you're eating better, and vice versa. You're going to eat better so that you can see the results in the gym. So yeah, that's I think the biggest benefit that I saw going through a couple of these challenges was you just want to work out harder and more often because you're doing all this work in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fitness is it's a big part of it. I think an underlying part that people don't realize, like first you get your diet on track, then you're like, oh man, this is going really good. I'll go work out again.
And I feel like even if when people, I feel like, do have like a bad weekend or a month or a year, it's just kind of like they go together. You're like, okay, I need to get my shit together. And I'm like, I'm eating well today and I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the teammate that like shows up the final day, like, hey, where have you been all of
Like that, or like, it's like you tag in and all of a sudden you're on 3 burpees and you haven't done any burpees for a month. It's going to be,
like, come on, dude.
So no pressure to anybody out there, because this is a no pressure. This is a fun thing to do, but you will see within yourself, you will do better, I think, than you think going into it. So just give it a chance.
Depending on what team you're on, there can be a lot of pressure.
I'll be honest. We're 2-0. So my team's 2-0. No BS. I did step in as a interim coach in the last challenge, but the team did take first place. So I'm gonna throw that out there if anybody thinks you can beat us.
Yeah, when I did the first one, it was
less weight to lose.
It doesn't matter.
hardcore.
It doesn't matter where you're at. Join my team. We'll be
If
on
you
top
wanna
if you want to be on top of the podium.
okay.
Just saying.
Yeah, the first one we did at Glass City got super competitive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was intense, especially that final day. It was
It
was a lot.
Do you think the final challenge will be here, or do you think it'll be up at Glass City?
I think it's gonna be here. So yeah, I think it'll be every other because the last one we did at Glass City. So I think we're planning on the final challenge being here. And so I just will tell everyone, like, you have to be here that day. I think that's like
Must be present to win.
you must be present. I think we've had a lot of like subs.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the subs part
In
of
the
it.
past?
It's a horrible argument.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'm not. Is it you?
Well, maybe our team had a few subs.
No,
but
every challenge we've done, we've had subs, and it just creates like a little bit of stress. Like, oh my gosh, like our team is down 2 people. Like, what are we gonna do?
and
Like,
it's tough to find fillers sometimes.
and it's tough to find people last minute. So I feel like just if you sign up, just commit to the 24th, and know it's going to be a fun day.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you good if I share your Instagram page?
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
fun
mostly
to have.
food.
No, that's good.
And having an event outside of our normal routine here, you get caught into this. You come and you work out, and you go home and doing something. It builds camaraderie. It's a good event. It's a lot of fun to do something different.
Yeah, it's cool. Stuff like that.
Food.
It's a lot of food. I talk about food and working out. Most
So
of my
this
day.
is
So,
showing.
I'll be honest.
You're
Your
sharing
page
this?
makes me feel bad about myself.
Yes, this is on our screen now.
Oh god.
Is there protein in these pictures?
No, but if you go back and look, so a part-time gig that I have is I work for a farm.
What farm?
And there is some
Shared
protein in
Legacy
that.
Farms.
Oh, cool.
So those are my pictures. I'm a part of a CSA, like Community Shared Agriculture, where like
I'm
every
familiar.
week I get a box of veggies.
Yeah.
So those
Is
are my
that Elmore?
boxes of veggies.
Is that
Yeah.
okay.
Do you know Shared Legacy?
I'm familiar.
They're my favorite farmers.
Yeah.
So I work for them. I'm like their CSA coach. So every week I pick up my box of veggies and then I show their group how to cook them, how to store them, what to do with them. So a lot of my Instagram is veggies and food. But if you watch my stories, usually most days there's protein on my plate at every meal.
I got my first sample box from Shared Legacy
you
last
did?
week. Yeah,
How was it?
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
love
so
it.
pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they just send you food?
You actually can pick it up right in Perrysburg. I mean,
Yeah.
any
At
of
the
the
church,
major
right.
cities around here, but
So you
Woodland
pick up
Park.
a box of veggies, and it changes every week, obviously, depending on it's Ohio and like what you got going on. But yeah, and it's 18 weeks long, so it's not the whole year. And you get a box every week, and you pay for it ahead of time, like in the winter. So you're just supporting local farmers and ensuring that they have the finances to grow food that next year. And some weeks it's big, and some weeks it's small, and that's just life and part of supporting a family farm. So
What is that?
what is that? You're like scrolling way back. I think that's sliced squash, like butternut squash.
You made it look really good.
Um,
It looks friendly, like just
it does look friendly.
very Instagram-ish.
Oh, butternut squash, sweet potatoes, and honey nut squashes. So layered with an almond flour crust.
So on the next show, Katie's going to bring us in lunch.
So obviously you can cook.
I can cook, and that has been a process.
Yeah.
So I feel like I taught myself to cook, and it's definitely another marathon situation, not a sprint. So every year I've gotten better and better. But
I'm gonna bring this up real quick so I can see what this is. It sounds horrible.
The drop off, the
So-
shared legacy has it down to a science. You just get into a line and you pop open your trunk, and they swap out the last week Rubbermaid tub, put in the new Rubbermaid tub, and you drive on
right away, yeah, you don't even have to
You
get out
pull
of your car.
into the farm.
into the Woodland Park. So you can go to the farm, but they come to all the major cities
Alright.
each day of the week.
Different,
So
yeah,
it could be
different.
Sylvania one day, and then
Is there a
Perrysburg
link?
another day.
Is there a link we can share on this?
We'll
farm?
share a link.
Well, Shirley, that's
Yeah,
fun.
I'd like to check,
I
I'd like to
love
check
that.
on this farm.
So is this? I'm just gonna pop this one up
Yeah.
for S&Gs. Is this a box that you just got from them? Not recently, but I mean, just in
Yeah,
this photo.
so there are different size boxes. So I feel like if you look at my Instagram pictures, you're like, wow, sometimes that's a lot. I have like the largest box option. So there's like a smaller box. Like you don't necessarily always get that much every week. Like a regular share is like half of that.
Okay.
So I get a larger, but I've been with them for 9 years. So like to me now, I've learned how to preserve a lot of that. So when you see like crazy amounts of veggies, like I'm not eating all that in 1 week. Some of it's going into my freezer. I'm making freezer meals. I'm making soup for the winter and freezing it. So I have learned how to preserve a lot of food in this process.
You
So
put a lot of salt in it.
a lot of salt and butter, sugar. I just like pour it in. I'm okay with some salt.
See, that looks great. That looks healthy. I don't have a damn clue what to do with that stuff.
Yeah, and you know
Eat it
what?
raw.
That's the crazy thing is that no one does. And that's why things like this aren't successful is because members pick up that box and they get it home and they're like, what the fuck is this? And they literally don't know like what the lettuce is or like
Yeah.
what to do. Or they don't know that like the arugula is going to go bad in 2 days. And that's what they should use first. And they shouldn't worry about that squash because that squash is going to be good for months. So what Shared Legacy has done is like, when I get my box home, I stand on camera and I unpack it and I say, this is going to go bad fast. You have to use this first. Or I'll say, this can go in the freezer. You don't even have to blanch it. You can throw it in a bag and put it in your freezer. So like they've created this like insane retention rate of their members. They have like 500 members. It sells out every year because they've taught people how to eat local, but also how to not be as wasteful and how to use it. But there's a huge learning curve. In the first few years, you will throw stuff away and you just have to accept that it's like a process.
Right. No,
Because of the waiting list, I would recommend if you're interested, getting the sample.
Totally taken.
So if you sign up for the sample, you get like 2 boxes over the next month or two, and then you move up in the waiting list. So then you have an opportunity to buy into the group next year.
Yeah.
So that's step one.
Step one is get on their email list. Like get on Shared Legacy Farms email list. Go to sharedlegacyfarms.com.
Shared Legacy Farms.
And get on their email list. So every year, like in October this year, it's going to open up renewal for 2022 to the current members. And I'm going to tell you, they have like a 90% retention rate. So most people are going to renew for next year. The spots they have left, they're going to open up to like the people on their email list and wait list. So you got to get on that.
Shared
That's
Legacy Farms.
Plug
Got
for
it.
the day. Maybe you could be a sponsor.
Yay, there you go.
See?
And then this video that tells you what to do with all this food or what to eat
So
first.
that is in their like private Facebook group. So if
once
you're
you're
a member, once you're in, you get added to that group, and then you
Okay.
can see my weekly videos. When I'm unpacking my stuff, I just literally take the box and I unpack it live on camera.
Okay. So everybody get a similar box then? Or-
Everyone's box is the same. It's just the volume of it can
Gotcha.
change. Yeah.
What is the What's the average cost of a box?
I'm going to say a membership is, I'm guessing right now, and I should know it, anywhere between $300 and like $800, $900, depending on the size you're getting each week.
For the 18
weeks.
18 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. So with that, you're getting your veggies each week. We're getting a newsletter, which has probably 10 to 15 recipes that I submit. You're getting into the Facebook group, which to me is like huge because you get the weekly videos, but you also get all the other things that people are doing with their vegetables each week, which is just so helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some other benefits. You get invited to farm events, make you feel like a big foodie. Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
I
could
mean,
be
it looks
another
really good.
podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep
Cool.
going. I just know you got to roll. So
I know, I'm sorry.
no, it's
No,
good.
I
it's
have
all
these little
good.
humans I have to go.
I get it. I got humans too.
Take
We all
care
got
of.
humans.
So
Well, thank you very much for your time.
yeah,
today,
no,
Katie.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Very
Thanks for
informative.
joining us today.
Cool. And I hope everyone stays tuned. I think there'll be some information out in the next couple days about signing up for the challenge. So stay tuned for that stuff.
Super. Do we know who's doing it?
What do you
Here?
mean doing
Here?
it?
Like who's putting that up here?
It'll go into the group page,
Okay.
so there'll be a link, and then I'm sure Morgan and Deanna, Katie will be around. Yeah, I would say let's start there, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I feel there's like 2 days already that I know that Embody will be here.
Yeah, so,
So like it starts on the 27th. I think it'll be here on like the 26th and 24th. So like, and the sooner you sign up, I'll do most of those one-on-ones the week beforehand. So, they're not all going to be on the same day. I know last time we did it here, I think they were like kind of all in the same couple of days. We're going to kind of spread it out throughout a week. So as soon as you sign up, I'll start getting a list together and probably start contacting people to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, so in the past, the coaches have kind of taken on a team as far as team captain goes, but a lot of our members are pretty knowledgeable on this stuff too. So if you get a member on your team that takes a point or the lead, it's just a benefit to that team. So
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of members that would be like, you would like to be like a good, like leader. If we have like
Yeah,
smaller
I mean,
teams,
it's-
like 4 or 5.
yeah. So there's a lot of great people and resources, and it'll be good. Everyone gets a little more better. Everyone is a little more organized.
Learn from the past.
it
It's a little bit more exciting.
like it's like pulling things out of your diet this time around. That's going to be a nice aspect of the challenge if people commit to that.
I feel like it will be too.
Yeah, good deal.
Cool.
Good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head out.
Thank
Is that
you,
good?
Katie.
Thanks
All
for
right.
coming.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well,
Next
back.
time we
Thanks for
see you,
having me.
we'll talk
Maybe
about
we'll
what's in
come to
your
you
Starbucks.
sometime.
yeah, 5 a.m.
No.
Oh,
Over at.
oh.
Actually, I'll still be working. I'm a midnight guy, so
All
Maybe
right.
Sunday. Maybe on a Sunday
Maybe
fun
on a
day.
Sunday fun. Yes, you have to come for a Sunday fun day.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Katie.
it. Uh-oh.
oh, she's snapping us.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
So her
With all the
Instagram,
veggies.
yeah,
You're on Instagram.
her Instagram page is as you can see there in the corner. So that's good. I could have asked like an hour worth more questions.
Yeah, I think that I actually have about 15 more wrote down that we'll just have to stay tuned for each week of the challenge to get into them.
Wonder how we sound. Let's turn our mic off.
See.
She's sorry.
Bluetoothed it.
Was I blocking your view? I catch myself every once in a while.
On occasion.
I'm leaning in
You
on
feel me
him.
kick you?
Yeah, just kick me. I'm used to that.
Are we still rolling?
Hey,
We're rolling.
Hey, Cindy gave us something to try out from Froning Farms. You guys know who Rich Froning is?
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal in CrossFit. He also has a farm, and looks like this is a bison beef stick. So we'll give these a shot. I'm gonna do everybody a favor and not eat them while we're filming, but we'll let you know how it goes. Maybe in the next one. But they look really good. 7 grams of protein. Mark that down for your macros. And this bison jerky. There's 32 grams in this bad baby of protein.
You got flavors in yours?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of them.
Stuff looks good though.
Teriyaki, Cajun. jalapeno.
Yeah, not a lot of ingredients. So I don't know what the stuff costs, but
Is this your protein, Glenn?
Oh yeah, yep. One of them that I use.
So is this plant? Okay, it's plant based.
I think it was good having Cadie on. That was a nice first guest.
yeah, no, that was awesome.
If there's anyone else that you want to see, or if anybody has any topics they'd like us to cover, just go ahead and post it, and we're happy to expand on what we're doing already.
Heck yeah. Anything else you want to hit on there, Shane, Glenn?
No, I don't have anything else, man. I'm good.
We're at an hour anyway, so
Yeah, this was good.
Well done.
good deal. Well, until next time, stay tuned for. Are we still doing the competition like we did on August, giving away massages, or no? Or is that what?
Yeah, I think so. Get a workout logged in September. So
Okay.
maybe in an October podcast, we'll announce the next massage.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get Cadie back on too for like updates and other things to talk about, because we definitely didn't hit on everything we talked about before we started recording. So, but hopefully we can get her back on. My wife's texting me saying it sounds like the dog ate some stuff because I left the dog out. All right. We'll end it there. See you guys next time.
All right.
See ya.